Mic check.
When I was to you, I knew you were the one for me.
Come through, dig the
I
sound.
swear the whole world could do you empty.
Crowd around. I used to cop a lot, but never cop no drop. Hold mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops. Stop and stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly
Bombing my
round
dick
606.
off. And finally, just last week, I had like good, solid, tight set. So I was like, all right, finally.
Yeah.
I've had a couple times where I've done like good there, but not like, great. It was like my first like great
Is this
night.
recording now?
Yeah.
Nice,
No,
yeah.
we're going. We're going. That's how I do it. Just like casual,
Yeah.
casual
Great.
conversation. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have like a layout or anything. Just try to get to
nice.
know the people I'm talking to. So
Great.
yeah, but I like doing this because it's like I see the comedians all the time, right? But it's like I never get to talk to them for more than 5 minutes. And when we are talking for 5 minutes, it's just shooting the shit. It's not like, like real, hour-long conversation.
Yeah, and
actually.
you've got the pre and the post gig. The pre and the post show stuff going on in people's heads as well. It's not a real conversation.
Definitely,
You know, it's kinda
100%.
just- It's releasing the pressure valve sometimes.
Yeah.
Afterwards, especially, if it hasn't gone well.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
that's all you're thinking about, really.
Mhm.
After a show, isn't it?
Yeah. I
Anything
can't.
else is just. I don't remember any conversations I've had after shows with anyone.
Yeah, every time I come home, like my husband will just be like sitting on the couch and I'll just ramble about
Yeah.
what happened at the show. I would just keep rambling. Well, I could have done that. I'll just be talking out loud. He's like, he knows I do it every time I get home, but
It's necessary though.
it is. It really is. Yeah.
So you can sleep.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not, I would not be able to sleep. I would not be able to get up for work in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said you started a podcast. How long ago did you start that?
It's almost a year now.
Yeah.
So I think I'm on I think I've done 65 episodes or something like that.
Oh wow.
So it's just audio,
Mhm.
Yeah, I just started the second season. The first season it's just me going through my Google searches.
Mhm.
It's a good way of kind of I found it a good way of trying to live in the present in a way, doing that for myself, and it seemed to lead to stories. So it's just storytelling really, and now I'm on like the 4th episode of the second season, and it's basically I figured out that the storytelling was the best element to the first season. That the episodes that did well, the storytelling bits were the popular bits. So now I'll tell one story per episode, just from anything,
Yeah.
I like storytelling.
What's the name of the podcast?
The podcast is The Truth Is In There.
The Truth Is In There.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to check it out because I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
I think the more creative outlets, the better.
Mhm.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it keeps me happy.
Yeah.
Before any of this, I was pretty depressed. So this has been really great for me.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So you're from Ireland,
Yes.
right? And assuming you've been there since you were a baby,
Uh-huh.
been there your whole life.
Yeah.
Same city.
Same city. So Ireland is, I think it's about 5-6 million population.
Mhm.
So it's like 1/5 of the population of Florida.
Yeah.
And I live in a town about 20 minutes outside of the city,
Mhm.
in West Dublin. Dublin's the capital city. So that's where I live. Yeah, I lived there all my life. I lived in Australia for about almost 2 years.
Mhm.
It was like 10 years ago now. No, 12 years ago.
Mhm.
So that's where I learned to speak.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because before that, like when you're in, I don't know if you know this, but there's like probably hundreds of different accents in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like I live in one town and we have a way of speaking, and then the next town it speaks totally different. It's like,
Oh, okay.
so you could be in a 10-minute walk from somewhere and they'll speak totally differently.
That's crazy.
So when I went away, to Australia, I was speaking too quickly. I spoke for, especially when I had a few drinks on me, I'd be speaking like that, you know. and it wouldn't matter because I'd just be speaking to my friends and other Irish people. But then I went to Australia and I was on a working holiday visa, you know, and I was like, why can't I get a job here, you know? Oh yeah, I'm not even speaking English. That's what you know. I was like a non-English
They don't
speaker.
understand. That's crazy.
Why
Yeah.
give me a job, you know what I mean? What's going on?
Yeah.
You
When
would be just unconsciously speaking too fast, and that's when I learned to slow down. And it just, if you like, in the comedy scene in Ireland, a lot of comedians struggle with that because we would have an international audience and they will be doing local references and also not speaking clearly enough. So it's something that I'm very conscious of. And it's just it's helped with the comedy really as well. But yeah, that's when I was away there for 2 years. Apart from that, I've lived in Ireland
yeah.
for the rest of the time.
Yeah. I can imagine that being difficult because it's almost was it like kind of starting all over, like when it came to comedy, like just learning to slow down and just like speak. Because did you start comedy before you moved to Australia?
No, I
Okay,
only,
so you start
just
okay.
over 2 years ago.
Okay.
I started, so it kind of came as I'm an electrician by trade, and that's what we say back home, you know, by trade. Is that a thing over here?
It's a thing
yeah,
over here.
I
I've heard
trained
it,
as an
yeah.
electrician. My dad, I worked for my dad for years, and then I was always trying to get into psychology courses, though. I kind of really interested in human psychology. What other kind of psychology is there, I suppose?
Psychology,
yeah,
just
it's all
the human brain. Yeah, yeah,
All the other animals are pretty straightforward, I think.
yeah. Yeah, right. They don't need to study them much
No,
more
they're all
to find
cool.
out.
They're just- Yeah, like your dog is just happy, you know. It doesn't need a fucking therapist.
Yeah. Could you
but
imagine?
I just interested in why people kind of act the way they act, and what for myself as well. Why I am the way I am, and so I started doing a counselling and psychotherapy degree about when was it, like 2021, and also my brother was going through a lot of stuff with his mental health at the time, so I wanted to get an insight. It wasn't that I wanted to save him or help him, but I kind of just wanted to learn about it and have
Just understand.
have more empathy with him. So I did that for a year, and that's when I found comedy that summer when I was off, and then I just everything else just
Bit by
I
the
don't
bug.
do anything else now. I just do comedy.
Yeah.
And my brother
100%.
passed away last year.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he took his own life.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that is one of the things that drives me as well. Because he inspired me a lot in that first year as well.
Yeah.
And he inspires me a lot in general. So he's another factor of what keeps me going with the comedy and why it's such a good, like you say, it's like such a great distraction, but a healthy distraction mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
so that's it's been just over 2 years now, and I'll never stop doing it. I just love it, you know. But it feels like time is almost the most respected currency in stand up. Like, when will they respect me? You know, they do, but like I want to be able to say 10 years.
Yeah, right. I know, right.
2 years, ooh, you know, it's like we're still a baby, like I'm still a baby in it.
Yeah, but
you know?
time has gone by, like with comedy. I was like a year. I've been doing this for a year.
Oh, right.
What do you even like? I remember my first time on stage, like it was almost like 2 weeks ago. Like it's weird how quickly time has gone by.
Yeah.
But no, stand up. Like I had a similar situation came full circle with me. My grandfather killed himself, and he introduced me to stand up when I was really young. So it's been a driving force for me as well.
Oh, right,
and
there you go.
because I think about him, I write jokes about him, things like that. So I understand where you're coming from in an aspect.
I mean, it's
on
a
that.
powerful force, right? It's like they're a blessing, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
doing it for them as well as us.
yeah.
There's no stronger reason to do it for me anyway. So yeah, that's what keeps me going. I just love it as well. I just love crafting the jokes and getting big laughs. It's probably sort of narcissistic as well, you know.
It's addicting.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing I can relate it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start doing stand up over here in the US?
The first time was I went to Austin so I was almost a year in, and I went to Austin for like 10, 11 days last summer. So when was it? Last June.
Okay.
To sign up for Kill Tony and all of that, and just to see what it was like. And it was insane there. And I was kind of thinking, like, do I really want to pursue it here? Because, like, I remember one night I was 54th on a midnight, like 54 on the list on an open mic. And I'm up there at 2 a.m. in the morning, and there's one guy, like, slumped at the bar, you know. I'm trying to tell him jokes. He's not even conscious.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and you're up there, I'm up there for 3 minutes, and it's like, fuck this.
It was, I wonder if it was the same one, the Lucky Duck. Because I remember I was at the Lucky Duck and there was like 40 people signed up, and I was there till like 3 a.m. It was insane.
Yeah, and no, it was the Sunset Strip one, I think.
Okay.
Or the Creek in the Cave, one or the other.
Oh yeah, the Creek in the Cave is the one at midnight.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one it was. And so I came back from that, and although I enjoyed it, I was like, it's too counterproductive. It's not valuable stage time. It is stage time.
It's mostly comics too.
Yeah, and I mean, when I don't know, like, comics are in their own head when they're in an audience as well, so you're not getting an accurate reflection of what's good or not. Maybe the ones who've been up already are relaxed, but for comics to be an audience, all they're thinking about is their own set. So yeah, so I that was the first time, and then I came here and I wanted to find somewhere that was like not too crazy. And I'd been to Florida in 2009 with like 7 of my friends, and I had really good memories, like, you know, of it. So I was like, I'll give Orlando a go, you know. And I guess I saw that there was plenty of mics on, and I got in touch with like Rob Ford. He's so helpful.
Great guy.
He's been so helpful to me, like. And in Ireland, you'd be like, why the fuck is he so helpful, you know?
Yeah, you're wondering what he wants out of
he
you
up
or
to?
something. Yeah.
But it's not like that, you know?
No, not with him.
No,
not with him. People are like that. But
it's like, we have this thing in Ireland where it's like, because it's such a small, dense scene, and there's really good comics over there, you know, like of all shapes and sizes and creeds and colours and everything. But there's only like 3 big clubs, and they're all in the city. And Friday and Saturday are the big nights, and like, you're trying to get on those lineups, like, and there's hundreds of comedians trying to do that. So as much as it's like everybody's really respectful to each other, and we all get on very well, without saying it, it's just competition. Everybody's just trampling on top of each other to try to do as much, get out there as much as possible to try and get on the paid shows and make a career out of it. But I think most of the successful Irish comedians had to just go somewhere else and kind of go somewhere where there's a bit more freedom to be just more space, you know. And that's what I like about here, as well as just loving the Florida itself. I don't know what it is about the place, but
yeah,
it's like I took a deep breath when I got here. I was like, I don't know why, but it's like
people are chill here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah,
people are chill here. People are mostly like relaxed here. I mean, the comedy scenes here, like, everyone's supportive, respectful. Everyone books each other on each other's shows, and we all really kind of like push each other, which is like, there's shit talk, but it's like, that's what comedians, like, we just all bullshit,
humans
you know.
do,
Humans do. Yeah, that's true. But it's nice to see. But that's like with traveling too. That's something I've learned is like, I can stay here. I don't need to move to Austin. I don't need to move to, as long as I can travel and put myself in front of these different crowds and try to get on different types of shows. I feel like I'm learning something. So,
Yeah.
but I know what you mean with like just the competition. I've heard it gets like that in certain cities like New York City or
Yeah.
LA and stuff like that. So I haven't seen it for myself yet, but
Yeah.
people love out of towners. As
Yeah.
long as you're always visiting,
Yeah.
you won't have an issue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
See, that's like in Dublin City. There's one mic a week where you can sign up on the night. One in the whole that's in the whole country actually.
Wow.
And then they'll cap it at like 20 because they have to. There's too many.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the kind of, and then you will get booked for shows here and there, but then inconsistent audiences, like there's inconsistency with the numbers in the audience, and basically the biggest comedy clubs, they just put the money into Google, they hit the top of the search results, and that's it. Then all the tourists in Dublin go to those shows
Yeah.
on the weekends, and if you're not getting booked on those, then I mean,
There's nothing else really to do.
pretty much, yeah.
And there's nobody starting like open mics at like local bars or anything.
There is, yeah, there actually is, but it gets to the point where if you like, the pub industry in Dublin is very competitive, and the deal kind of is that, right, you bring people in like anywhere else, but you bring people in, they buy drinks, we make our money, and then you get your tips, you know, if you're organising a show in Dublin City.
Mm-hmm.
But then if it gets to the point that if it's just an open mic and the quality isn't there, people will just go somewhere else.
Yeah, because they're there to drink. They didn't know there was a comedy night
And
happening.
yeah,
We
and-
get that too
And there's
over
another
here.
comedy club they can go to that like some 7 nights a week in Dublin. You have in Stitches Comedy Club, the Crack Den, you know, the International. They have a choice of a few professional clubs to go and watch. If
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's just pretty sooner or later the bar will say, look, you have one bad night of bad acts. If it's an open mic and you're letting anybody sign up,
Yeah.
you know, the pub will be like, what's going on here? Like, where's the no laughter coming out of that room that we rented you? You know, it's just silent. Nobody's buying drinks.
Yeah.
So it's a very competitive thing, and it's just, I like that. It's more relaxed over here, and I'm just in a position where I'm able to just do a little stint over here and try to build something.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that's good. The U.S. is entertainment center of the world, it seems like. So
Yeah.
it's the place to be if you want to, get somewhere. And I'm not saying there's not comedy, obviously, over in like Ireland and Britain, but it's just like U.S. is like, I feel like the entertainment industry over here, like Trump's entertainment industry is all over the world. For some reason, I think it's just because our people look up to people like that. So they idolize
Yeah.
people like that. So it's just like blown up like crazy over the
The
past.
individual seems to be celebrated
Oh, yeah.
more here. I know, and it's the same back home, but there's just something in us. There's something in us Irish people where it's like fucking, you know, you even feel it if I'm doing well over there, and anyone else that's rising a little bit on the comedy scene over there, you kind of feel like, okay, I'm a target now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rather than a inspiration, you feel more like a target,
Yeah.
and you're just waiting for people to look at you and kind of knock you off your pedestal. Who
Yeah.
do you think you are? You know, like,
I feel like it could
know,
probably
that's-
get like that over in the U.S. too. I feel like, but it's hard to. Maybe it's because the U.S. is so big.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the actual,
yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like, yeah, that's the difference I feel here. It's just more breathing space, and then I'm in a position where I'm not married, I don't have kids.
mm-hmm.
You know, I'm able to travel, so I'm just trying to make the most of that, and I'm able to go up like most nights
Yeah,
here. So do some camping. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm staying on staying on this primitive camping site. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually weird to talk to somebody. Actually,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I haven't talked to people in days.
yeah.
I gotta learn how to form words
Yeah, I was
again.
about to talk to that fly that was just flying around.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere. It won't go away.
Yeah.
It's on you right now.
Yeah. Probably followed me.
He's like, I heard you talking about me, talking shit. We're gonna have to,
Yeah.
you have to fight a fly now. And that's
Exactly,
pretty
but
difficult to do.
In that as well, though, I've learned so it's a primitive camping site, and like it's a forest, but it's with like paths beaten through it, you
Mhm.
know. But there's water supplies and there's like a communal bamboo shower. It's nice as well, but I've learned as well that I can't fully do that. You know, obviously I have a car rented, and I do like that little bit of not luxury but normality as well.
Mhm.
So I'll kind of and the like hotels and motels here are actually quite affordable
Yeah.
compared to back home. So it's like I can mix that.
Is it because of the area? Because of Dublin is such a popular tourist city?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just looking
it's
at
insane.
Austin, and the prices are ridiculous for the hotels. I feel like
Yeah.
they just keep going up and up. But yeah, the major cities get ridiculous. Over here, it's not like touristy really, except for
Yeah.
the Space Center, which isn't even that big of a deal. So
Yeah,
it's not bad. Yeah.
it's spread out more.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can drive to Orlando without paying an arm and a leg for a hotel over there, because the hotels over there are crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's cool. So so are you going to keep coming like 3 times a year, or like just as much as you can? Do you want to move over here
Yeah, I would like to, you know, if you'd have me.
or?
I would like to, but 3 times in a year, I was even like, and now I have a show on here, and I'm kind of getting booked a bit more now, and it's kind of getting to the point where I'm like, right, I might have to get some sort of visa or something now, because the visa that I get at the moment, like we have a visa waiver program in Ireland. So you like get a visa and it lasts you like 2 years, and you can travel to and from as much as you want.
Sorry about that. I wish I could get rid of it, but there's nothing I can do. Sorry. So the visa, you travel 2 years, and
Yeah.
so is it?
I did have a shower, by the way, you know.
Yeah,
I did shower.
It's been around me too. I did as well. It's just got in here somehow. I don't know, because it's not even none of the windows are open.
It'd be a great moment if he landed on one of our heads.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it's getting to the point where I'm like, if I was gonna pursue stand up here and be in a position to go to other states and do shows and stuff, I'd have to think about, you know, going all in and moving here. I don't think there's not much more in between I can do, if you know what I mean. I think that the ESTA visa waiver thing, it runs out in like February or March for me, so and I'll have to look into trying to get some sort of artist visa or something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Just get on Kill Tony, and then
Yeah,
you can get your visa that way.
Yeah.
They love imports.
They do. I'm a diversity act over here.
Yeah, you know you are, definitely.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
There's more. I've seen more Australian people than I see Irish people in like Florida and Texas.
Really?
Yeah, can't think of one Irish guy I've ran into, honestly, living here my whole life.
They can't handle the heat.
I guess
Yeah,
not.
I can.
Is that what it is?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like suffering.
Yeah. Is that why you were an electrician?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Irish, they kind of travel in packs, you know. They
So we're just waiting for another war, I guess, is what you're saying.
yeah, they kind of like Australia. There's communities of them over there. Of them. Sorry.
It's your people. You'd say whatever you want.
New York, there's big communities of them. You know.
This damn fly. I'm gonna have to kill it. I don't even have a fly swatter. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He'll disappear until the ether will forget about him. He'll go away. Nope, maybe not.
Do you want to get rid of him?
I think we should put him on a microphone. Just let him have a chat with us.
Yeah.
No,
Buzz on the comedy scene.
Maybe
Yeah.
if we weren't so easily distracted. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is.
Once it doesn't affect the thing, you know. I mean, it's if you're happy with him flying around, that's fine. It's
No,
not
I
gonna-
don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care.
no, me
yeah.
neither. What was I talking about? Yeah, just that's kind of why I came here as well. There's not many other Irish people here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't really like them.
Yeah. So how did you get
No, sorry,
whatever, man?
No,
How
I do like them. I like my family. You know. I can't say that.
How did you
I was
like
joking.
think of
about it.
Florida? Like why was Florida a place?
Oh yeah, because the trip that I had in 09 with my friends,
Okay.
it was just in my mind, and then it was like Austin was too crazy, and I'd seen that I'd seen a few like Orlando comics on Kill Tony, like Wellens, he's one, right?
Tony Wellens, yeah.
Is he Orlando?
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Patterson as well. And I was like, right, it's not too far from there. I was thinking in Kill Tony terms at the time, not being too far from there, but to be honest, that's kind of faded
Mm-hmm.
for me. I would go. It was kind of that's within a close enough vicinity to Austin, but not as busy. But you can still get up every night mainly in front of audiences. So
Yeah.
it's just I think I just wanted to go wherever I could get up in front of real audiences every night,
Yeah.
because I think the work leads the way to. Doesn't matter about talent or writing or anything like that. The getting up there is obviously the main thing. Writing is important as well, but I mean, yeah, I think just that if you can like the harder you work, then the better you get, really, isn't it?
Yeah. You reap the benefits.
Yeah, and I don't have to be like I'm 36. I don't have to be fucking 23 to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to be a stand-up 10 years ago.
Yeah, because what material or life experience?
I was just too wild.
Yeah,
wild
you're too
bastard.
wild.
Ah.
Party.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
And then like, yeah, exactly. What do you talk about? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would have been totally pulled in by the trappings of
Drugs.
drink, drugs,
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah.
All the things
Yeah.
that you can easily get pulled into. Yeah, that's one thing I'm
The
happy.
late night activities.
Yeah, I'm
know?
happy I found it at the age that I did because I'm 29. I found it when I was 28. And
Oh, yeah,
I've been with
that's
my
nice.
husband for 10 years. So, like,
Right.
my home life is super stable. So, I'm glad I found it now because I actually, like, live more structured. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I was reckless, like, just, I don't even know what I was. I wasn't even a human.
Yeah.
Just crazy, just stupid, doing stupid shit,
Yeah.
going out all hours of the night, wasting my time doing nothing. So,
Did you grow up in Florida?
I've been here my whole life.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I like it here. It's why, like, because after I went to Austin a few times, we were like, "Oh, are you gonna move there?" And like, same thing, like the open mics, like just the open mics. I can get the same thing here every night of the week, almost every night of the week. Am I going out every night of the week? No, because I have a husband. I need to be home a couple nights a week, but I at least go out, 4 or 5 nights a week. And Austin is great for me for visiting because I can work my way up to getting on bigger stages and getting more comfortable on bigger stages. But like you said with the open mics, like you're not getting a true response to your material. And that's why like people don't say, don't throw out material because of an open mic. You don't know if it'll work at a
Yeah.
show. Right. So the reason I like open mics now is because like I'm just a baby in this. I'm only a year in. And for me, it's just getting comfortable on stage in front of people. Like obviously writing and doing all the other stuff and testing it out at real shows. But like I feel that 100% what you were saying is
Yeah.
like that's it right there. Because yeah, but I like Florida. I don't need to leave. I can visit wherever I need to go.
Yeah. I've noticed as well, like I think, especially with a lot of, I've been on the scene in Dublin on such a small scene, you see a lot of people come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it can be like, people starting comedy can be like a grim reaper for relationships, kind of. I've seen so many people drop off.
Yeah.
Like, where did they go? And then like 2 weeks later, it's just a picture of them with their boyfriend or girlfriend on Instagram, and you're like, right. And it's happened multiple times,
Yeah, I see it too.
I can imagine it would be a strain. And me myself, I've been dating women, and I'd go to an open mic Like I bring her to a show, and then I'm just like, I just had no interest in her. I was like, which comics are here? I want to talk to them. Thinking about my set, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And then she, just told me to fuck off then. And
Yeah,
it
takes
was it.
it takes a certain person, because like my husband is like, he has his own hobbies, like he works on cars.
Yeah.
And he does YouTube for his cars, so he understands like this side of it, like media side. And we've been together for so long.
Yeah.
It's like we have that stability and trust that it's like I can do this without it being an issue. And he's been so supportive, thank God, because if he wasn't, I'd have to divorce him. But no, I'm kidding.
Grim Reaper.
No, I'm kidding. But no, comedy really is though.
No, it is, because it becomes you get into a relationship with
life.
it, like when you're obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's scary. It's
and
scary.
sometimes it doesn't treat you good.
No.
Sometimes it's
No, and that's the worst,
cruel,
right?
but sometimes it's the best ever.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really up and down relationship.
yeah. The most toxic one you'll ever
Yeah.
get into. Yeah. No, I love it though. I mean, just like I'm sure you do. I can't ever, even if I never make it, I can never see myself not doing this.
Me too.
I would go to open mics for the rest of my life if I had no option.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
want that.
Yeah.
Dear God, please don't give that to me.
Yeah.
But I could do it because I just love it so much. But yeah, no, it's fun. So do you think you would move to Florida if you moved here?
I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah. I just don't know how to go about it the right way. I've had other comics telling me just find an old woman and just get it. But people say that though, especially funny people. Just get a visa. Just,
I mean, yeah. You could.
not that easy.
You could. It's not that easy.
no.
It's not that easy.
But I think if I was doing it, I'd go to Cracker Barrel. There's lots of old people there.
You would have to
Is
go
that a
to the rich neighborhoods, though. You gotta be
Yeah.
careful with your selection of area, because there's a lot of older divorced women here, but they may not have the money or visas that you need.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta find the right
You
one.
don't want them to die during the visa process,
No, you
It's
gotta
no
wait till
use.
after.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's it's not as simple as that, and I wouldn't. You couldn't do that anyway. It's I don't know what the process is like when, from an Irish perspective. There's like a green card lottery or something like that. I don't know if that's a global thing, but a certain amount of people get picked each year to just get a pass to live and work in America. So yeah, I'll have to look into it. I think it basically, from what I've read on the artist's visa side of things, it's like you just have to show that you're offering a good service and something that's worth something to the country. So maybe I might need to get a comedy club or someone to back me up or something like that. Or I don't know. I'll have to look into it, I think, because there's only a certain amount of times that I could come through like US Border Patrol in Dublin Airport and be relaxed, without them thinking, your fourth time here in less than a year, like what's going on?
What are you doing?
I can't say I'm camping again, camping. That's what I said last time. I've said that every time.
Yeah.
They just look at me and they're like, that kind of checks out, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got the flannel, that's all you need.
Yeah.
They know you're going camping.
Yeah, I've had this in the suitcase waiting for 2 weeks for the right occasion.
Yeah.
This,
Moonroom is the night to wear it for sure. Yeah. So you stay here for a month at a time, pretty much, or?
First time was in March, and that was like 12 days. I was here for St. Patrick's Day, and that's when. So I did a show in Daytona Beach with Roy Shepherd. He organised. It was a Don't Tell, and he gave me a shot. It was me. He'd never seen me before. I think maybe just online or whatever. And it was their first Don't Tell in Daytona Beach, and he put me on first and kind of put his trust in me, so it went quite well. I was very happy with it. And
Good.
I just something happened with the audience. I was like, I like these people.
Yeah.
I was like, I like these guys.
That's always good.
Yeah, I was just looking at them. I was like, something clicked.
Yeah.
With that audience on in March, and I was like, I like this place. So that was the first trip, and then July I was here for like almost 3 weeks. That's when I found that campsite, and a buddy of mine actually came over for like 9 days, and he camped as well on the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to have him there. And yeah, it's just been kind of progressing now, you know, sort of to getting booked on more shows and bigger shows, I guess. But look, I'm doing one on Friday, and it's 40 to 45 minutes in Christie Bees.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like, you don't, like, if you're doing a headline spot in Dublin City, it's 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. You can't even practice for it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do little bits at a time and try and put it all together on the night, but I can't, you know, but it kind of gives me comfort knowing that I can't practice it, and I just have to make it up as not make it up as I go along. I have enough material, but it's just not, it's a different muscle. It's a different sort of thing to do 40 plus minutes.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
You know what I mean? I've never done, neither do I. I've done 25.
Yeah.
That's the most I've done. But for this, it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to talk to anyone for, like, I know I like talking to people. I mean, I wouldn't talk to one.
No,
it's hard
it's
to
fine.
talk to one person.
You know what? Get the fuck out. Can't have you here anymore, buddy. No, we're going to have to cut this off in 45 minutes. How much time are we at?
Where's that fly?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I mean, that's like, that's a good muscle to work, to just like be up there for that long.
Yeah, and it's forced me to write. It's forced me since so in July, I did the open mic there in that club, and then they asked me to go back, and I was like, "How long is the set?" It was like 45 minutes. I was like, "What the fuck? That's crazy talk, you know." But then I accepted it, and then I was like, "Right, now you have to write," and you know, it gives you a kick up the ass to kind of go and do every mic that I can, and that's why I came here like 2 weeks early and testing out material. Some material doesn't work here that works in Ireland, and vice versa. So
it can help you understand like what.
Yeah, I just had to get here like
yeah.
a couple of weeks before and try out stuff that's working back home and write new stuff, and yeah, so that's where it's kind of at now. And if I want to push on from that, then I think it's going to take more than just, you know, coming here on that visitor sort of visa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going home in 2 weeks, so
I'll find you a white woman while you're gone. I'll look around. I'll keep my eyes open.
All right.
I'll let you know when I find one. I'll be like,
good.
listen, we got one. We hooked one.
Nice. She sees me in this shirt.
We'll get you your green card real quick.
Yeah.
Are you okay with men?
No.
I'm kidding.
No. Maybe just given but not taken. You can compromise.
Yeah. No, that's great. No, yeah. So are you thinking like you might try to do this like very soon, or like try to get over here soon, or you're just going to kind of go with the flow and see?
I'll see where it all ends up, because in July it was like I had some, like, I think in the 27 days or something like that I will have been here for this trip. Before I left, I had like eight shows booked, you know, pre-booked. But now every time I go to a mic, somebody is saying to me, "Oh, how long are you in town for?" And then so it's just ended up being getting booked most nights now, you know, because, you know, diversity.
Yeah. You're here for, that's why I hit you up. I'm like, what's up, Dan? How long are you here for? Let me get you on the podcast. Let me get you on the show.
Yeah. She's using me for my accent.
I am, actually. If anybody likes Irish people, just watch this.
Yeah. But yeah, like a woman said to me, it was actually as well, one other thing that happened in July was when I did that Christy B mic. outside, someone said to me after, "Why don't you talk about?" Like, I went well, but she said, "Why don't you talk about where you're from?" And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I will. That guided a lot of my writing in the last few months to make relatable jokes about the town where I'm from.
Isn't it interesting how little tidbits from people kind of like sink in a little
Yeah.
harder than other stuff? And you're like, maybe I should listen to this because for some reason it
Yeah.
won't get out of your mind. Yeah.
Especially when it's critical, like when it's criticism.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Give me 20
Don't
minutes
come.
of it, you bitch. Gonna make me whole set about it now.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to think about because nobody from here really has that personal experience, so it's something very unique about you that you can share in your own
Yeah,
way and
and
make fun of.
The other thing is that the highlights of my comedy career so far have been the times when I got criticized really badly by someone that's really good and experienced.
Mm-hmm.
When they gave me constructive criticism, I think like it's happened twice since I started, where one time I did a show and I did terrible, and they just told me what I did wrong and what I should do, and it was very upsetting at the time, But once that wore off, I was like, right, yeah, I'm actually gonna follow that advice,
Yeah.
and that put me in a certain direction. And then it happened again, well, just by luck. A really experienced comic in Dublin, Kevin Gildee is his name. I was performing on the same lineup as him one night. My set went kind of half well, but then I finished on silence, and it just so happened that he'd asked me to record his set on his iPhone. But it ran out of memory like with 5 minutes to go. So I recorded the last 5 minutes on my phone for him. And I had to get his number. And like I messaged him saying, look, I'm usually better than that, And that's not the real me.
Yeah.
But then he just wrote me back. He wrote me back this really long message. He'd watched my whole set and he'd told me what bits worked and why and what I need to do. And I was like, holy shit, and ever since that, it just made sense. And then I just followed that. So I was lucky enough to get really harshly criticized a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like honest criticism.
Yeah.
Because we don't like to give that to each other.
Yeah.
But if it's someone that's really highly respected and
Yeah.
a headliner like for 30 years or something, and something that they say to you gently hits you like a fucking atomic bomb.
Yeah. But it can be valuable, like you said.
It
Yeah.
depends on you how you take it.
Yeah.
At the impact of it, you decide.
Yeah. Some
Am I gonna
people.
go,
Some people
"Oh,
get offended. Yeah.
but and it does hurt because you're hearing the truth. But when you clear your head and just stay calm and give it a couple of days to wear off, and then just get to work on that, it's just really valuable. I was just blessed that I asked for it, kind of,
Yeah.
and that's really helped me just to get I'd almost hire someone. It'd be really difficult though. Like it's so hard even like you probably know as well. I find it so difficult to video my set and then watch it back.
Yeah.
Everybody does really, don't they? Like especially when doesn't go well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the worst.
To get somebody really experienced to watch that in front of you and go through it would be like, no one wants to do it, but I think it would be really valuable, from someone that's in the game years.
Yeah.
And other times, there's been other comics that are really experienced that have projected their own. I think it's hard to. You need to filter out how much advice is just the other comic projecting their style onto you as well, or if they're actually looking at your unique style and advising you on that,
Yeah. That's one thing that caught it, kind of tripped me up. I was given technical advice from somebody, and the technical advice that because when I was just starting out, I basically was taking everything in, just like anything anybody was telling me. I was like, let me try that, let me try that, let me
Yeah.
try that. And because I was taking all this advice, I got to the point to where I was like not myself on stage. I was like near robotic. Like none of my jokes were about me. They were just like, it just wasn't me on
Yeah.
stage. And it took me bombing like 4 times in a row to be like, what the hell? And at showcases, it wasn't open mic bombs because that happens because sometimes it's just comics or
Yeah.
whatever. But it was like shows. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I'm listening to my set, watching my set because I I voice record every single one, and sometimes I'll video record to see how I am on stage. But I was like, I'm just being robotic, and I was like, oh, like none of this is me. The writing's not me. The performing isn't me. I'm being some weird person on stage that I don't know at all. And once I realized that, it clicked that I'm just like, oh, Alex, like, yeah, listen to advice, but take what works for you, not don't change your whole thing. Obviously be funny, but yeah, I ran into that issue where it was almost like this, like a little bit of style projecting. Now that I look back at it, is what
Yeah.
it seemed like. Like that's a good way to put it. But yeah, it held me back for a good like month or two because I was just like, so locked up in the technical stuff. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
why did I start this to begin with? Because I wanted to show people who I am, not be a performer or pretend to be somebody else. So obviously perform, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that was a breakthrough.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
great.
glad I learned that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I think it was this guy who sent me that message. Like some of these pros are at the stage where they just don't give a fuck anymore. Like they do, but they're not even on the scene anymore.
Mhm.
You know, they just come in and headline, and then he wouldn't even remember me the next day. You know.
Yeah.
But then, like you will have people who are, I don't know. See, again, Ireland it's a different scene.
Mhm.
People are generally the same, though, you know. But I think when you're all packed in together, trying to make it in one small city,
It's different.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike here, where there's a lot of opportunity for
Yeah.
that, especially with where comedy is at right now, which is insane how big comedy is right now. I mean, there's comedians performing at political parties and
Yeah.
stuff, which is, I feel like, I don't know. I can't remember the last time they had comedians at like political rallies. I don't know,
I
but
think the closest thing would have been, it wasn't political, but like Ricky Gervais at the Oscars.
yeah. Yeah.
That was the last time that one would have been in the news, I guess. For it
When was that? Do you know?
was like 2 or 3 years ago. He
Okay.
tore apart like the Hollywood people.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like just like comedy, there was like a big boom like back in the day, and like what was it, like the 60s or
Yeah,
70s or something, and it's almost like that's kind of happening again. That's what
Yeah.
it seems like, what everyone's talking about. Like it's almost like like comedy explosion. So it feels like if there's any time to be in it, this has got to be like one of the best times to be doing comedy. It feels like, because
Definitely.
there's so much opportunity over here. So yeah,
Have you
no,
always been a big fan of stand up?
pretty much, but I never thought about being a comedian
Yeah,
until this past year. My entire life, I would say the first time I saw stand-up comedy, I was probably I listened to Larry the Cable Guy on radio when I was probably like 8, and then I saw Ron White. Ron White was the first like stand-up act I saw when I was like maybe 12.
oh, right.
My grandpa put him on television, and we would watch him with his whiskey and his cigar.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't remember any of the jokes because I was just a kid, But
Yeah.
we would all hang out as a family, and we were kids. We should not have been watching it, but
Yeah.
my grandpa, he's old school, and we'd all watch it together. But yeah, my whole life was surrounded by comedy movies, stand-up comedy, and it's almost like it's like it's come full circle now, where I'm like, oh wait, like this is the whole reason why I grew up with comedy, is because I feel like I'm kind of meant to do this, and I'm not trying to like have an ego in saying that, but
Yeah.
it's just what it feels like to me, that this path was defined to be this way for me, which is crazy to say, but
No,
yeah.
I feel the same. Yeah, it's all roads kind of lead to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you? When was the first time you saw stand up? Did you grow up around it or?
Just in my village where I'm from, I was never really a big fan of stand up.
Mhm.
Like it was just in my family. So I have 5 siblings. There was 6 kids, growing up together in a house, and my mother and father. So we were always just trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Really,
Competitive.
Yeah, your sense of humor was your kind of weapon,
Yeah. It was the same in my family, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also, how you cope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And my dad is like he was the ringleader,
Mhm.
A lot of family dynamics, Like I've 2 younger sisters, 3 older brothers, so there was that. There was a hierarchy almost. So yeah, we didn't watch much stand up, and Irish television, there wasn't much. There was sitcoms,
Mhm.
kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like Father Ted, have you heard of that
Mm-mm.
show? Father Ted's a hilarious show. It's actually, so this will sum it up for you, right? Father Ted is the most successful Irish comedy TV show ever. But RTE, who are the Irish national broadcaster, they refused it when it was brought to them.
Hmm.
But a British company took it on because the Irish national broadcaster wouldn't allow it because it was making fun of the church, of the priests.
Yeah.
Honestly, so they wouldn't take it on. And then an English TV company, English broadcaster produced it and
They
put it out
produced
there,
it.
and it became legendary. Yeah.
Did they change it when
No.
they it was the same? They just produced it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to. What was it called again?
Father Ted?
Father Ted. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
See if it's on our airwaves.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
So no, like you guys didn't have like any comedy movies, like anything.
I always
like,
loved Jim Carrey's movies.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That was my
Ace
thing, too.
Ventura and
Mhm.
the Cable Guy and all of those growing up. I always loved that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like Robin Williams. So I suppose stand-up comedians in movies
Yeah.
would have been what we were more exposed to,
Mhm.
rather than stand-up itself. But I don't think it didn't really become. Yeah, I guess was it 80s or 90s it became mainstream in itself. Someone on a stage just telling jokes.
Yeah.
So I would have loved comedy through movies, but as far as getting into stand up, I think it might help me as well that I don't have many I don't look at any comedian and go, oh, I want to be like that one.
Yeah. I never had that.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people do have that.
Yeah.
Which is good in some ways,
Mhm.
but then in other ways it's gonna be like, okay, it's another element to overcome of trying not to be like that one, even though you
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah, because I feel like people can kind of like see through who you are when you're on stage. They can feel the energy of you. So
Yeah.
if you're not really being yourself, they're gonna be like,
Yeah, they're so
Alright.
smart, aren't they? The
Yeah.
fucking audiences.
yeah, isn't it
I've
crazy?
underestimated that a few times, and it's just been
They smell your fear.
Never underestimate them.
Yeah.
they'll get you every time. They just
Yeah.
they know, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So smart.
It's crazy.
That's what I think that's what happens to people when they bomb is they just underestimate the audience.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna purposefully start overestimating every audience, even if it's just comedians at an open mic. No, maybe that'll help me not bomb.
Yeah.
Try that. But yeah, so comedy movies, I was influenced on Jim Carrey 100%, all that. Eddie Murphy too, a lot of his movies growing up. Were you like the funny guy in school? Like were you like class clown kind of? Did you have any of that?
Yeah, quietly I would have been. So I'd be like whispering,
Yeah, just like with
A
your
few people
friends or
would've-
something.
Yeah, my friends would have found me really, really funny, and then other people just didn't get it. They just think
Call
it was-
you weird.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me.
Yeah, and I was really big, so they wouldn't tell me. They're too scared of me. But
Yeah, I was really big, but they weren't scared of me. They just called me fat. it's different for a woman, you know. When you're a big guy, you're a football player. When you're a girl, you're just you know.
Yeah. So it would have been like, what did we do one time? So we like we'd play tricks on the teachers in school and shit. We had a teacher who he was deaf in one ear, you know. He had a hearing aid, and so we used to, like, mobile phones hadn't been out that long. But he's really bad hearing, like, and he'd always get it wrong. Like, if someone was talking, if two students are talking, he'd pick the wrong ones. He'd be like, "Hey, shut up," you know. But it was them, you know.
Yeah.
We'd be like, so we used to have him on the. So it would have been high school, the equivalent of high school. But we'd have him like the one before the small break, you know, before like the 10:30 break. So I'd plant my phone. I'd record the school bell and plant my phone up behind it. And then my buddy Paul would, you know, about 15 minutes early, he'd call my phone, and the bell would go off. And he'd be like, "Oh, what the? Oh, seems a bit early, but okay, off you go." And we'd all get off for lunch, you know, shit like that.
That's funny.
Yeah, trying to outsmart the teachers.
Yeah.
You know? Real smart ass kind of stuff.
Yeah, same thing. So do you feel like it's kind of come full circle for you with comedy too, that you're like, oh, like, do you feel like you're meant to do this kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
I think so, because it's always been my yeah, it's how I repel. Like, if my little sisters were having a hard time, it's always just make them laugh until they pee themselves, you know.
Yeah.
It's my solution to things. And for a long time I thought that it was and I think a lot of people would think that making jokes all the time, you're covering up, you know, you're like, it's covering up some sort of issue, or, you know, why are you putting on a front, just trying to make people laugh all the time and making jokes? Why don't you take things seriously? And for years I thought that was like a real thing. But then when I did that year of the counselling and psychotherapy, I realised that it's actually an effective tool against depression and anxiety and other stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's actually effective. It's like yoga or whatever, because if you can lighten things, they're lighter no matter how you do it, you know. So
Yeah. You're not being a negative person by doing so it's helpful. I see that. That makes sense.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's I mean, some people do. They just act like they're okay and they make jokes to cover up some big serious issue, maybe. But I don't know. I just think it's not to get too deep about it, but it's just a genuinely, like, what's the word? I'll think of this word after now. Legitimate way
Mm-hmm.
of making things easier for
Yeah.
people.
It's like
That's
a release, yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
after a show is tough, right?
Yeah.
I get an awful crash after a show.
Yeah. I get a
know.
relief but a crash, and then
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't. Drinking alcohol now for me it's off the table. I wouldn't do that, but like chicken sandwiches and shit. Have you had them chicken and cranberry sandwiches from Circle K?
No, my husband gets.
Jesus.
Have you ever had one from Publix?
Don't even tell me about it.
Oh
Don't
gosh,
wanna
you're
know.
gonna have to try it before you leave. They usually do a Thanksgiving special where
When is that?
it's I don't know when it is, but Thanksgiving's at the end of the month.
Oh,
So they usually do it like the month leading up to it, towards the end of the month. And it's like a Publix. I don't know. You've had a Publix sub, I assume. You've been here 3 times. They have to tell you about
Why
it.
would you assume that?
You got to try a Publix sub. Oh,
no, I
but,
have. I had one. I think I had one the first time.
yeah, I was about to say you got to if you're in
Yeah.
Florida. But they have this one. It's like it's a turkey cranberry whatever. My husband
my
gets it
God.
all the time, and he says it's like the best thing ever. So you got to get it.
Oh, really?
You'll know what it is when you go there.
In
It's like
Publix?
yeah, Publix. If you go, you
seen
can
a few of
go
them.
after Moonroom tonight. Go get yourself.
I can't believe I bombed again.
No. You'll have a good time there.
I remember I did Moonroom last time, and he has that clock down the back, you know?
Yeah.
And you're looking at the big clock. And it's like, I kind of ran out of no, I didn't have enough material. I did my material too quick last time.
Oh yeah.
And I put in a real shit joke at the end. I was like, oh. It came off like a minute early.
Yeah.
Went so bad in my head. It was okay, but I was just like, Yeah, I just did it way too quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the clock. It doesn't bother me
No,
too much.
it's
Yeah,
great.
I like that I know and I don't have to look for a light in
Yeah.
like 4 different corners of the room. Like,
Yeah.
where's the light at?
Yeah.
You can barely see the light because there's lights on you. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that shows I run are a little different here. I mean, I did the milk district one
Oh yeah, how was that
on
for
a
you?
Thursday. I fucked up, you know. I not in a harmful way. It was just like, what happened? I was doing 10 minutes, and
Mhm.
someone held their phone up like after 6. You know, I keep an eye on the time when I'm up there, and it started pretty slow. You know, it started off pretty bad.
Mhm.
There was a few confused faces with what I was talking about. You know when you see the confused faces
Yeah. It
looking up at
happens.
you, and they're not laughing at the stuff that people usually laugh at. And but I got going. A joke worked, and another joke kind of worked. And then after 6 minutes of phone, someone held their phone up at me, and I was like, "Is that the light or what?" You know.
Oh,
And then I got a flash at 8 because I was due to get a flash at 8.
yeah.
8 minutes to the 2-minute light.
Uh-huh.
But I thought that was the final light, so I ended up
Oh.
coming off 2 minutes early.
Yeah.
And then it was a shotgun system as well, where you call the next person up to the stage.
Mhm.
Just went out in my head. I just
Yeah.
walked off the stage.
I do that, so I do the same thing for my show.
I'll tell you, I ate
But
a
I
chicken
do.
sandwich that night.
You did?
Oh, 2, I think.
I'm gonna start having to see if that solves my bombing.
Yeah. Sorry,
Whenever I
go
bomb,
ahead.
I'll try a chicken sandwich. Thursday nights are interesting there, because I do Saturday nights there at Milk, and Saturday nights are great at Milk. And I was like, well, I need to do a Thursday because I haven't done a Thursday because it's different for some reason. And Thursday, I went up second, I think. First, I went up second after the host. And yeah, it took me a while to reel them in. I was like, I was about to pick myself
It's not
up a
just
chicken
me.
sandwich, but instead of that, it was
Yeah.
just abusing myself mentally on the
Yeah.
way home.
But I had to. I was rushing over to Madcaps then after that
Mhm.
in the car, and I must have almost crashed like 4 times. Just
Don't do that.
was that a lie?
Chicken sandwich had you
Yeah,
tweaking.
I was like, fucking. Did he flash me? He thinks I'm a prick.
Yeah, I don't think
know.
Diddy. I don't think you should be getting flashed by Diddy. That might be an issue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. It was there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, no, but so being a kind of a little comedy fiend growing up, I guess we all were in our own way. I feel like in school they kind of discipline humor a lot.
Mm.
And I feel like it suppressed me for a long time because I always felt like when I tried to be funny, I would get in trouble. So I would just be quiet
Yeah.
because I didn't know how else to act.
Yeah.
Because I'm not normal. I can't just act normal and have a normal conversation. Like, don't ask me about my day. I'm going to tell you some weird shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like they punish kids for being funny. And I know
Yeah.
kids can be assholes, like, putting bells behind deaf teachers' heads.
Yeah.
It's all for fun.
It's like, I mean, I still remember it, It's so funny.
Yeah.
How did he fall for it? I don't know, but
It's hilarious. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
And then it was
Brilliant, too, because I would have never thought.
And there was another teacher. It was me and my friend Paul Allroy. We understood each other.
Mhm.
And 2 people that understand each other's humor and get each other, and your friends, like at that age, it's a dangerous combination.
It's unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, when there's 2 instead of 1,
Yeah.
it's just like nobody's ready for that, And we had a really strict German teacher, and she pronounced her S's like really, it's like a
Like
So-
what is it? Herbert from Family Guy, the guy that does the S's.
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, or whatever his name is.
yeah. So you used to play like basketball court sounds. She sounded like a basketball court, people's like
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's most of the things that give us joy, I think, are stuff that we like doing before
Mhm.
we were programmed by school.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to do that shit again. Just not the skill. Imagine like how much fun you'd have if you're just allowed be. I know, like you said, like being funny would be seen as misbehavior.
Mm-hmm.
There's no outlet for that. It's just
Yeah.
sad, really.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to start like a comedy school and just put all the class clowns in comedy school and just it could be like the Chinese Olympic children, like how they put them in school from like as soon as they birth them, they just stick them in like gymnastics.
Yeah.
We need to do that for people that are funny, just like stick them in some sort of comedy school.
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, the people that tend to, I don't know, the people that tend to be most successful, they seem to have a really good sense of humor anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever you think about Donald Trump, that guy is president now, and he's so funny.
He's got great comedic timing.
Yeah, I mean, and so I mean, and yeah, a lot of people that make it into those positions of power make it because they have that sense of humor and lightness about them. And I mean, that's not encouraged in school, so which is pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you think about it,
No, it really is. It's a problem. If my kid's funny, I'm gonna be like, all right, we're getting you on stage as early as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so, your personal life. Do you want to get married and have kids? Do you want a big family? Things like that.
Yeah, I'd like to get married eventually. Have a couple of kids, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I'm not. I don't like mortgages and shit. I'm not.
None of us do.
No, I don't want one.
Yeah.
I'd rather be homeless. To be honest.
Yeah.
Well, no, I wouldn't rather be, but I just think nothing makes me go. But I know that if you got to think for two people, like when you're in a relationship, obviously. But me personally, I'm just trying to. I've always been that way where I push against what other people are what seem to be normal. I just naturally go against it, whether it's right or wrong. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But something in my DNA just makes you go, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really boring.
Yeah, it could be just like because there's something for you that you just don't know yet.
Yeah.
And your brain's just like making you do that because you got other shit to do.
Yeah, but then I've been camping in that forest for the last like 4-5 nights on an air mattress, and then I booked into a place in Titusville, like before I came here, and I lay on the bed and I was like, this is great, a bit of security. So I'm a hypocrite, really.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works for you.
Whatever you do, I think there's something like the grass is always greener anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what a person does, it seems to be the other thing is always the better option.
Well, when you're a famous comedian, you can have both.
Yeah, but then
you can go camping and have security.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing about being a little bit older, getting into it, is that I know that I've been down the drinking and partying path already. I've done most drugs and, been at all the house parties and had all the hangovers and shit. And it take a really special occasion now to drink, because I know what it's like. I mean, I've travelled a fair bit as well, so it's the grass is greener thing then becomes less further away, or I don't know how to explain it, but it becomes more the same colour.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like, I know what the other thing is because I've done it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, wherever life leads you, just take that. There's no reason to abide by any standard that our society pushes on people, and you can. They like, people are always coming up to me like, "Aren't you gonna like have a kid yet? You're about to be 30." I'm like, I can wait. I'm not going rotten inside. Relax. Just because the media says I'm rotting inside doesn't mean
it's awful, isn't it? That pressure that's put that societal pressure.
It makes no
put on
sense.
people.
I don't understand it. I mean, I want to have a kid, but I'm good right now. Like, we're gonna wait like maybe another 3 to 5 years or something. I just want to get something solid in comedy and feel like I can keep doing it after I have a kid, because I feel like that's a big thing, having a kid. And it halts a lot of progress on stuff. So I'm just
It might affect your comedy. Like, fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. It will.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to be
Yeah.
able to do both. Like, if I'm not making a living off of comedy, I'm not having a kid yet. I have to.
Yeah, that's it. That's what gets me. Like, you know, any sort of I've never been great with commitment. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't mean like I've been good at getting out of like relationships early, because I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want this to be a relationship, so I get out rather than staying in. You know, and then cheating or whatever. So I wouldn't be a cheater, but I'm not. I just don't. I just love being free and
Yeah.
doing what I want, but being like answerable to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you're with somebody, you kind of have to.
Yeah, so I mean, it just takes the right person
It
to
does.
be with.
Uh
You
huh.
know,
It does
I
100%.
would never say fuck everybody. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah, of
because
course.
there will be someone
Yeah.
someday. You know.
It comes at the right time. That's the thing with society pushes everything super early,
Yeah.
you know, and we've got, you know, at least 50 to 100 years because who knows when people die. Some people die a little early,
Yeah.
but, you know, you've got time. Everybody's got time. So there's no reason to rush anything. But
Yeah.
yeah. And who knows what'll happen? Maybe you might be into dudes in like 20 years. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait a minute. Could I be? I was thinking, if I was, why did I think about this? For some reason I recently thought about if I was gay.
Yeah. Maybe you're trying to write a joke.
Yeah, of course it
That's
was.
probably what it
Yeah.
was.
Like what would be my type? Because it would be. I know I've heard people talk about it before, but
Yeah.
could you be in a gay relationship where it's just non-sexual?
Yeah.
You know,
Probably.
then it's just you just have a buddy all the time.
You just need a dude with a wig.
I don't know.
Just like a twink with a wig, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, well, the man would have to look very feminine for me to.
That's what I'm saying. If you're
Yeah.
into women, they would have to be like a Taiwanese chick or something that's got balls. I don't know. One of those, what do they call them? Or Thailand,
I've been there,
Thai lady boys.
I've been there.
You've been there?
and I've been to Thailand.
You,
Nah, I'm joking.
I was like, did they sneak you into the back rooms? What were you doing
Some
down
strong
there?
whiskey over there.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna get into that next time we have Dan over. We will talk about his Thai lady boy experience.
Yeah, no, it was,
No.
Jesus, I forgot about that. But yeah, that was on the way to Australia. That's kind of what. It's kind of the Irish way. In that, yeah. See, a lot of people emigrated from Ireland back in like 2009, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was the big economic crash. So you do like a month hopping around Thailand, and then go to Australia to kind of start a new life or whatever you wanted to do.
Mm.
So a lot of people, Thailand, had to cater for that,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember I was there with 3 of my friends in Thailand, and after the debauchery,
Yeah.
the debauchery that was going on, and they just, strong whiskey.
Yeah. You had fun though, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Nothing happened.
Do you remember the food? Was the food good?
Yeah,
He said the whiskey was strong.
street food is great
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, that's the way to go. But yeah, again, it was that. I remember, 4 of us are there together. 4 guys from my hometown, Blanchardstown, all there together. And I just wanted to party, but the other 3 guys wanted to do a diving. Go to the island where you learned how to get a diving license.
Oh yeah.
And you had to be up at like 7 a.m. I was like, fuck, I don't
Fuck
want to do it.
that.
And there was a deal like, if you have 4 people, you get free accommodation, So I had to like, if the 3 of them did the diving classes, they would have had to pay for the accommodation. But if I signed up as well, it was free. So they pressured me, So I totally went off the rails. I just, the island is called Koh Phi Phi, I think.
No way.
It is. Yeah. Go Pee-Pee.
Yeah. Diving in PP.
I
Isn't
think it's
that
PP.
interesting?
Yeah. But I rebelled, and so they all took an early night, and then I went out and fucking got drunk as possible.
Yeah.
We're staying in this nice little apartment kind of thing, and I'm playing music late at night, you know, and I'm like, fuck this. And then I just jumped on a bus to Bangkok, and two of the guys came like 3 days later, and they couldn't find me, you know. It's just pointless rebellion, you know. That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
I should have done the diving thing, but have you been to Thailand?
No, I'd like to visit, but
So
I've
Bangkok,
never been there.
Koh San Road is just. They found me there. I met this guy. It just made me think of it. There was a food stand. It's like fresh chicken and like Thai food. This Thai old lady makes it, and I met a guy at one of these food stands. This English fella, and we just partied for 3 days non-stop.
Jeez.
And my two friends then arrived from the diving thing. They couldn't find me. They were worried about me, you know. No phone, and they tracked me down. And just found me in this room, just naked.
Sounds like another episode of, or like a Hangover movie.
That's what it was like, yeah. Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know why that story came to my mind, but just, yeah. Thailand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, yeah, so that's, I've done that, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
it's one less thing on the bucket list, you know.
Yeah, there you go. But you're free to keep doing stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can pretty much end here. I think we're about at an hour, but yeah, you want to you can shout out your podcast, your Instagram, your shows you got coming up.
That was a wild story to end on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just naked in a room.
Yeah, naked in a room.
Yeah. So yeah, my podcast is The Truth Is In There. Yeah, it's been going a year. It's gone pretty. I enjoy making it. People that like hearing stories, they're better than that one. I didn't tell that one good there about the Thailand one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a longer version of that maybe
No, yeah.
on my podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan Stevens TM on Instagram. Yeah, I run a few comedy clubs in Dublin, in the suburban comedy club. And yeah, that's it. It's been great. I've enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you, Dan.
Thanks.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
And she keep working that back and about the door.